Hello there, what is going on everyone? We've got a lot of Legion product to talk about, a lot of brand new stuff just went up for pre-order. We're going to cover all of it, but not the least of which is Thrawn and the rest of the Imperial High Command. We've got new information about these. We've also got pricing and release dates. It's a very exciting time to be a Star Wars Legion player, a miniatures gamer, tabletop gamer, or just a hobbyist in general, because a lot of cool stuff just over the horizon. Let's talk about it all in today's video. Also, we are doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos, my other videos rather. It's as simple as that. I also want to remind you guys to check out the links in the description below. You can jump in our Discord. You can check out discount codes for Battle Foam if you want to head over there. You can save 15% by using code Crabbok VIP. Very cool stuff to protect your minis, especially if you painted them as nicely as we see here. By the way, special shout out to this awesome Death Star terrain that they've been using for a lot of these photos lately. I really like this stuff. I wonder if this is something that we're going to see, if we're going to see more interior terrain or interior battles for Legion. I always thought it would be really cool if they came out with like an official, like indoor sort of variant. I have done battles like that before where you have actions to open and close doors and everything requires line of sight because you're, certain force abilities won't work if somebody's in a different room. Like you treat rooms as if they're like a whole separate thing. I've always thought of that, and when I see things like this, great photos like this, it kind of takes me away. Because I see some of the amazing stuff people have done with terrain, and it makes me think, man, it'd be really, really cool to turn this into almost like an Imperial Assault sort of variation of Legion when you get into indoor scenarios, and it totally can work, right? Legion's very versatile because of its size point. You can do things like full-scale war, which is also coming in Adepticon, or you can also make interior scenes really come to life with awesome shots like this. So big credit to the painting team, the photography team, and everybody getting this photo out there. It looks beautiful. I'd love to see more stuff like this too. It inspires me and makes me want to do cool things. Okay, so we have a lot of cool stuff coming out. Battle Force boxes also, they're coming out. Very cool stuff. Let's actually just jump over to the Asmodee website and take a look at it from here. So this is very cool. So first off, Imperial High Command. These are all coming out in April, right? April 3rd, 2026 for Star Wars Legion Imperial High Command. You can pre-order now over at Asmodee at their website or with your FLGS and all of that. This is going to be a box. It's going to have 4 new commanders in it. Well, 3 new commanders and Krennic, which we already have. This is an alternate sculpt for Krennic. Admittedly, not my favorite version of Krennic. Hopefully there's an alternate head option in there. I don't like the hat. Just not a fan of the hat. We almost never see Krennic with a hat. So to have this new kind of hard plastic sculpt version of him with the hat, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I like the first version of Krennic. However, there are plenty of times where there's multiple head sculpts. So maybe this will be a new version. Maybe this new version will have that. Either way, I'm not going to get caught up on it. You can use whichever version you want. You can do your own head swaps. You can do whatever you want. You can hobby the heck out of it. You can have a lot of fun with it. We're also getting Tag and Tarkin and Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is going to be an amazing box. It does have a price point of $69.99. Nice. All right. So $70 for 4 miniatures is a little on the high side when it comes to pricing, and a lot of you are probably wondering, why is this so expensive? And the real simple truth of it is people are only going to buy one of this box. So it's a little bit more expensive for a company to create something that people aren't going to buy multiples of, because there's there's less profit to recoup because you make a certain amount on each box. This, you're only going to sell one to a customer. There's very few people who are going to buy multiples of these. This isn't a box that's designed to be sold in multiples. This is designed to be that hero box. This is why, if it was for generic miniatures in a box that would require you to kind of, or incentivize you to buy multiples of, it would probably be at a little bit of a discount, because they're going to still make up the profits with, and again, the games have to be profitable. This is not this is just the way it is. It's just the way the world works. This is why usually hero boxes for any game tend to be a little bit more expensive than the generic troops boxes. It's just the way that works. We got a couple of images here. We got a couple of close-up looks at our models here. They look pretty good. I like the paint jobs they've done on these. They're very nice looking. I kind of like how they made Thrawn a brighter white, and Krennic is a little bit more of an eggshell. Like he's a little bit, like he's less pristine. He's a little more in the dirt, right? A little more, a little more getting things done. I just like the difference in the shading there, and it's very cool. It's like almost like they did a different undercoat. I kind of get that with some of my whites that I've been experimenting with, like a blue undercoat to really make the white pop, and I feel that with the Thrawn there. Whereas I feel a little bit more of like a tan undercoat, or maybe even a yellow undercoat here with or an Agrax Earthshade kind of over the top of Krennic's stuff going on here. This is a little bit more of a natural white here, so it's pretty cool. And of course Tarkin looking great as always. I wonder who's going to model Tarkin with pink slippers though. I wonder who's going to put pink slippers on their Tarkin. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about doing that, because that would be really cool. I want to see it. I want to see it on Instagram. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. Unless, of course, I countermanded my own prophecy was saying people aren't going to buy 2 of these. That could be a reason to buy a second one. I could see it. I could see some people kind of taking the Tarkin peace sign that he's doing there and putting a cigar or something in there. He's like, I don't know what he's doing, right? Like this is from him saying we are this close or something like that, but it looks like he's smoking a cigarette. It's just invisible. It's a weird one. But what I do want to talk about is this right here. It does say that you're getting 4 plastic miniatures, 14 cards, 2 token sheets, and 1 insert sheet. The 14 cards is pretty interesting to me because it seems that we have some new information when we see 14 cards. We already know that Krennic has 3 cards. We also already know that that we're going to get 4 cards for the 4 miniatures. So if you take away the models themselves, each are going to have their own card. That leaves 10 for command cards. Well, you got 4 characters. So Thrawn has 3, and Krennic has 3. That leaves 4 more cards. So and we know that Tarkin has 2. So that this does sort of imply that Tag has 2 command cards. So Tag and Tarkin both presumably only having 2 command cards. As opposed to, and again, that's fine. Not everybody has to have a full 3. It does give you options there's plenty of generic cards. There's plenty of operatives that are going to bring their own cards. There's nothing wrong with, somebody having only 2 command cards, especially if they're, this is like, when somebody's 1/4 of an expansion pack, it seems like they're maybe just like a supplemental kind of character. And I feel like with a pack like this is, to me, this is the Thrawn expansion, and it just has like the variants, almost like how the super tactical droids has, like you could run the super tactical droid or you could run Kraken or Kalani, but they're all kind of like super tactical droid. I kind of get like that kind of treatment is on this box, where it's the Thrawn box, but if you want, you can run Tarkin or Tag, because they're kind of similar archetypes. Now, what we've seen is that Tarkin is definitely going to have a special role to play with Vader. He's probably going to be stapled to a lot of Vader lists, because he's going to be able to pull the strings for Vader, kind of do what Palpatine used to be able to do, but he can, give Vader potentially an extra action or an extra move or something really cool. And I think that's going to be a fun thing for Tarkin to be able to do with Vader, but again, I think mostly these guys are going to be performing very similar command level roles while not being like super combat heavy, but still pretty good. And again, Thrawn looks like he's going to be like amazing. I think he's probably going to be a little bit the most expensive out of all of these, because he looks really good. But this is not all. Let's move on, because I could talk about Thrawn all day long. He's my favorite. I think he's definitely my favorite Star Wars villain, but he's probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters. We also have Tauntauns. We've got the Han Solo and Commander Skywalker on Tauntauns box. This is going to feature Luke on a Tauntaun, and it's going to feature Han Solo on a Tauntaun. It's going to be a new commander version of Luke. It's going to be an operative version of Han Solo, and they are going to be also getting new command cards. As we can see here on the box, it is going to be 2 miniatures and 5 cards. Of course, 1 card for Luke, 1 card for Han. We've already seen those previewed at the at the last mini extravaganza. But that means we have 3 new cards between the 2 of them. Not sure the exact distribution of these. Luke already has so many. It would seem like it might be a good idea for Han to have 2 and Luke only have 1, or maybe there's like a Tauntaun to the rescue card that can be Luke or Han. You know, like there's a lot of different ways they could do that. I'm sure we'll get more information soon, maybe at the studio preview at Adepticon. So that one's fun. Let me know your predictions, but we do know that there is also another version of Han coming with the Han and Chewbacca kind of episode 4 scoundrel mercenary kind of pack that is coming. This one also is scheduled to release on April 3rd, 2026. It is MSRPing at $59.99. Now, as to my point earlier about how a hero expansion can be a little more expensive, we have the Tauntaun Riders, almost the same box, right? You have 2 Tauntauns and 2 Riders. They just happen to not be Han or Luke. This one's $10 cheaper, $49.99. Why? Because, well, this is a generic pack. You're more likely to buy multiples of these, especially if you're doing echo-based defenders or you're just kind of going with a thematic list. It's a very cool. They're awesome. They're you know, and they're cool sculpts, and they've always been very effective units too. They're fun, and RAM is a cool keyword. You know, I just think it's going to look really cool to have Luke and Han on the Tauntauns with your other Tauntaun riders. Also, you could do a whole Tauntaun list. It'd be really fun. So yeah, these guys are coming out. Again, this is a reprint though, so you're not getting. I think the sculpt is new though, and the versions they've had in the display cases have been beautiful. So that's also coming out. And we've got Battle Force boxes. Oh, we've got Battle Force boxes. Now these, if you were a little turned off by the higher price for some of those hero packs, I understand. Again, miniature wargaming can be very, very expensive. So this is the type of thing you really need to look out for, especially if you're interested in jumping into the game. By the way, I need to do another what to buy first list here pretty soon. I think this is a good time to start working on them as we get into the release date for these boxes, because these are limited edition. Well, they're calling them special edition. These are not going to be out forever. Like this is, they didn't say specifically only one print run or how much is in that print run or anything like that, but like they're not going to be trying to reproduce these, 5 years from now. They may do something similar, but it won't be exactly the same, and it might not be the same price point. You might not get this special edition Leia that you're getting in here and all of this other stuff. Now, you're getting a full 600 points in here, which is a skirmish battle, and as well on your way to having a full 1,000-point army. So this is a tremendously good jumping in point if you're thinking about getting it, or get a rebel starter and then get this, and now you're good to go. There's a lot of great stuff here. $139.99, excellent price tag. Also releasing on April 3rd, 2026. I really like this one. We've got a lot of miniatures in here. We've got the new Rebel veteran sculpts, which look good. We've got 3PO and Obi-Wan. We got some Tauntauns in here also, and this honestly does make me think that the regular Tauntaun Riders box might not sell that well, because of the fact that people interested in these might be interested in getting the Echo-based Defenders box. They also might be veteran players that already have a couple of Tauntauns, and there's only so many that you can run, right? So I don't know. I think this is going to be like, I'd be tempted to pick up this box. There's a number of reasons too. You're getting this new unique Leia Organa sculpt. Functionally the same as Leia already. You don't have to get this. It's not a FOMO. It's not this Leia's overpowered. It's the same Leia. It's just her from her Hoth days in Empire Strikes Back. And this is kind of, we've needed to have this kind of sculpt for Leia for a long time. So this is an excellent sculpt. It looks great. Also, I had to paint my, my Return of the Jedi Leia in white and kind of mimic this type of color scheme. So it'll be nice to actually see an official one. And I'd love to get this. I kind of hope they have these at Adepticon, because I'd love to be able to come home with one. C-3PO and R2-D2. Also, it's great. It's great. You remember when you had to get these in that crashed escape pod pack? It was like you had to buy the terrain just to get these miniatures, and at the time, like R2-D2 was like game-breakingly good. It was. there were some interesting choices that were made way back when. We're getting 2 Mark IIs, which typically go along with the Rebel veterans. You're getting 20 Rebel veterans. That's a lot, right? You can get those reinforced squads there. That's really, really cool. And Tauntaun riders. Also, by the way, with the 20 Rebel veterans, like you can use that for a number of regular squads too if you don't want to run them reinforced, because you get multiple language versions, right? So you can use like all the extra cards in there, and do all that crazy stuff. So yeah, that's a lot of Rebel veterans. Again, you can make, like, theoretically you could, if you really wanted to push come to shove, it wouldn't be legal for tournaments, but you could make 5 squads of Rebel veterans that way. You wouldn't be able to have any extra minis in there, but you could have 5 squads, and you'd be building them improperly, but you could still do it for casual games, right? But yeah, that's realistically it's 2 squads with the option to make each one like a reinforced or a double size, or you could probably do 4 squads. You just wouldn't have the the exclusive leader module, so it wouldn't be 4 squads like legal for all tournaments. But either way, it's just a tremendous amount of value you're getting in here for only for $139.99. That's April 3rd, 2026. Also, April 3rd, 2026, Blizzard Force Army Box. We've seen Battle Force boxes before, but that was in the old, the original version of Star Wars Legion. Now with the second edition, this is the new version of the Battle Force box for Blizzard Force. And I do expect that we're going to see Clone Wars versions of these special editions, which means maybe new sculpts for some of the other characters too. And it's funny because this is another reason I kind of want this Vader. Vader has had the most sculpts out of everybody. I actually don't like this sculpt, but I still want it because I want all of the versions of Vader. I hate this arm that goes down. Like, he looks like that he's an angry toddler playing lightsabers, right? This looks like it's Vader's son. It looks like it's Vader's like 4-year-old toddler, and you just told him he can't have ice cream, and he's mad, but he's got like a red like freezer pop, like a bomb pop or something like that in his hand. I almost want to paint it like red, white, and blue, like those bomb pops. I'm sorry, I'm being silly, and I'm supposed to be talking about this expansion, but it like, the sculpt is funny, and sometimes, the angle just doesn't capture it right. I'd love to take a look at it in person, and maybe you can mod it a little bit. Maybe there's other things you can do. I think without that arm kind of going straight down like there, it might look a little bit better. Maybe when you're assembling it, you can kind of bend it a little bit. Sometimes you can melt the plastic a little bit. I've taken a lighter to the plastic very, very briefly before, just to get it a little bit soft and pliable, and you might be able to hobby it a little bit and change up the arm if it looks like that, or maybe you like it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. It looks very cool. And honestly, after seeing Sarostro's recent versions of Darth Vader, it really makes me want to do another Vader, because I've shared some of the stuff on Facebook and stuff too. He's done such a tremendous job with Vader. It's absolutely incredible. We got the probe droids also that are coming here. They're awesome. And again, this is an all-new unit that's coming. This one is going to be included here, but also I believe they're also going to have their own separate pack, because you may want a couple of these. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be that good, because they have a self-destruct attack, but you got to have them at exactly, like, I think 3 wounds in order for them to do it. So it's going to be kind of hit or miss, but we'll see. I mean, I think they're in an interesting place, because if they do blow up, they can do a lot of potential damage. So it's difficult to balance that stuff. So I'm curious where their points are going to be after people start playing them and stuff like that. But you're going to get 11 Stormtroopers in here. I do love the new sculpt for the new Stormtroopers, for the hard plastic resculpt. These are super high quality Stormtroopers. They are absolutely gorgeous. I've been putting together stuff for Adepticon, and I'm running very, very low on Stormtroopers to make a full-scale war build. I definitely need more Stormtroopers, and because I've had to use some of my old Stormtroopers from like when I first got Legion, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, you can see the difference. Not just in the models, but also in the paint job from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, however long it was. And then we're getting the all-new Snowtrooper sculpt. So we're getting new Snowtroopers. Now this is one... I like Snowtroopers a lot, but I did kind of go all in on Snowtroopers. I bought 5 boxes of Snowtroopers when they came out. I was really trying to go all in on Hoth and the snowy theme. And I don't like that they based these guys on sand. I'm just going to throw that out there. What? Why is these guys based on sand? They're snow troopers. They're not sand troopers. I mean, this guy might be, right? But no, but they're snow troopers. What are we doing here? So, but yeah, you're getting a lot of miniatures here. 22 snow troopers, 11 stormtroopers. So that's a lot of core. A lot of really cool stuff here. Again, another 600-point army. At this point, all you need is an ATST and like one more unit, and then you can just, you'll have your whole 1,000-point list, which is very cool. 139, tremendous value there. You're getting again, this other version of Vader is just an artistic version. It's just a sculpt, same version as Commander Vader, same Vader you normally get, but it looks very good. It looks very, very good. So, a lot of cool stuff that's out there. Let me know if you guys have your eye on anything, what you want to see, more of. We'll be bringing you the latest from Adepticon with whatever new gets announced. We'll be looking at the case. There might be some spoilers for the first day or two, and then the studio panel. We'll be watching that eagerly. So we'll try to bring you all the latest and greatest as it comes out. I'm excited about it, though. It looks very cool. Hopefully, this will be the year where Gungans come out. But it's not going to be only Gungans, too. If they do actually announce the Gungans this year, it's going to be a whole lot more than that. Probably new Battle Force boxes for the droid invasion, for the 501st, probably. We'll probably get those. I bet you we'll see a new version of Anakin. I bet you we'll see... Maybe we'll see a new version of Grievous. I don't know. I don't know how I think we might be able to see a new version of the droid invasion that reflects the Battle of Naboo a little bit to kind of match potentially the arrival of Gungans. I don't know. Let me know some of your thoughts on other Battle Force boxes that you think that will come out, especially if they are special edition. Could we see a new version of Maul in that? A Separatist Maul. Wouldn't that be kind of cool if we're doing the Battle of Naboo? I think that'd be really fun. But we shall see. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all, and always wash your socks.